What it do, cuckolds? It's your boy the hater up in this mug. And today we're going to do a video of why The Rock sucks. Alright, now, for everyone that knows the hater, you all know that The Rock is probably my favorite wrestler of all time. Or at the very least, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I mean, I'm partial to Christian Cage, but like, in terms of star power and everything combined, The Rock obviously is one of the GOATs. However, here we go. The facts still remain that The Rock, in his current iteration, has pretty much pissed on everything else that The Rock has done to become cool throughout time. Now, The Rock is a very unique type of wrestler because The Rock has the capacity to be cool while playing a variety of characters. He's a cool face, he's a cool heel, he's even a cool tweener sometimes. But now, The Rock is not cool at all anymore, and nobody could possibly like him in the current state. Now, The Rock saw an opportunity to come back once again for absolutely no reason, and he took it. And what the haters saw was The Rock's promo on NXT. I hated this promo with every fiber of my being. In the promo, The Rock pretty much gaslights the dumbass fans, the Cody crybabies. First, he says everyone was mad at The Rock because The Rock is beating up Cody, right? Keep that in mind. Then he says, now The Rock is nice to Cody, and people are mad. Oh, why are you nice to Cody? What? What? You see, the problem here is that The Rock doesn't believe that WWE fans have any intelligence whatsoever. Now, he's not completely wrong because the vast majority of wrestling fans are complete idiots. And he can manipulate them as he has been doing for, nearly 30 years now, right? But this doesn't change the fact that this is a form of gaslighting. The Rock is straight up lying, right? First of all, a couple of things. Number one, the people that were booing The Rock for taking away Cody's opportunity have been correctly highlighted as being the Cody crybabies, right? The Rock pointed them out himself. He said these people are now called the Cody crybabies. So all of a sudden, now he's conflating the other fans that were on his side. These are the ones that are pissed off at him, now being friends with Cody. It's not the same people. It's not the Cody crybabies. It's the other fans. It's us, right? The ones that were like, oh shit, we want The Rock instead of Cody Rhodes. He's betraying us now. In other words, he's made both halves of the WWE fan base unhappy. And he's surprised that people now boo him. Now, in addition, let's just say that it was the same people that booed him at first. Even if they didn't like what he did, nobody's booing him now because he likes Cody Rhodes. No. Not even the hater. I don't give a shit. He can be the best friend of Cody Rhodes for all I care. The issue is the inconsistency, right? It is the insult to our intelligence. Because The Rock is now essentially a face. He's a corporate sellout, by the way, as well. More on that in a bit. But because he's a face, he has to like Cody. Pretty much everyone in this company can be split into two categories. Those that like Cody, who are all the faces, and those that don't like Cody, who are all the heels, right? The Rock is now a face, so looks it up on the chart. He has to now like Cody. But the fans aren't mad at that. Nobody's mad at The Rock being face. At least not directly. The fans are mad because of the inexplicable shift in character. The Rock came back last year as a face, essentially, and he was going to challenge Roman Reigns. He was forced to turn heel to justify his existence at WrestleMania. Because quite frankly, because of the aforementioned Cody crybabies, there was no point in The Rock even being there anymore. The match was taken from him. There is no logic in The Rock even being around. But The Rock wanted to be around because he came back. And, kudos to him. He then became heel, and he invented the final boss character, which, it's a stretch to call it a character, but you understand what I'm getting at. He became this heel Rock who now doesn't give a shit, and basically he's there to just, stifle Cody's dream. That's, I guess, those are the underpinnings of the final boss character. You have to beat the final boss for the game to be over, for your story to be finished, right? Now, we've completely forgotten that, and the final boss now is friends with last year's hero. What? Then he's also friends with Roman Reigns, who might be this year's hero. So this would be the equivalent of, let's take a classic video game, Mario, right? This would be the equivalent of playing Mario, going all the way to the final level, fighting Bowser, and then all of a sudden Bowser's like, no need to fight, I recognize you, Mario. And then Luigi comes along afterwards, and Bowser says, I acknowledge you, Luigi. And he puts an Ulafala over Luigi's long-ass neck. That's what's happening here. And that's what people are pissed off. Nobody's pissed off at The Rock's face. They're pissed off because The Rock turning face spits right in our face. He came and he beat the hell out of Cody. He even went after his mother, kind of. And all of a sudden now, The Rock is a good guy, and we were supposed to forget that he had beef with Cody. He has now forgiven Cody. Cody, who is a fucking cuck, has also forgiven The Rock, right? They're just smiling and giggling at each other. Well, last I checked, this is not a business of smiling and giggling. So that right there, even if you were to ignore the complete drastic character shift of The Rock going from the final boss to the people's cuckold, right? Even if you ignore that, just the smiling and giggling, nobody wants that. We want badasses. This has been established way, way, way before. We want badasses. We don't want The Rock to basically admit he was wrong and say, Cody is a good wrestler. Cody is a good champion. Cody, and this is the one that pisses me off the most, has been carrying this company on his back. No, he hasn't. Number one. Number two, if The Rock was pissed off at Cody last year and he didn't want Cody to become the champion, right? Maybe the logic behind that was he didn't think Cody would be a good champion. Well, now The Rock has evidence that Cody wouldn't be a good champion because Cody has not been a good champion. So The Rock should go out there and say, I was right all along. All of you people were complete morons. All the Cody crybabies were wrong. I said that Cody shouldn't be the champion because if he were the champion, then everything would go to shit, right? And he is now the champion and everything has gone to shit. This would be such an easy promo to cut for The Rock. And he could easily get the fans to turn on Cucky. Maybe he will do this later, but it doesn't matter. The moment has gone. Now The Rock is a face, and he's putting Cody over. Which begs the question, if Cody has been doing such a good job in terms of kayfabe, right? If we're supposed to believe that all the faces and the higher-ups and the Saudis and everybody else involved is happy that Cody Rhodes is champion, well, then I guess The Rock should say I was wrong. There was no need for me to be upset at Cody Rhodes for trying to use his well-earned Royal Rumble win. I was being a petty bitch. But The Rock cannot have it both ways. The way that the character plays off is basically The Rock was a petty bitch. He doesn't want to acknowledge that he was a petty bitch. So now he's going to be a cuckold, right? The final boss character and its transition to the current Rock can be explained the way I just did. Petty bitch to the people's cuckold. None of these characters are compelling. The final boss now goes down as one of the worst characters of all time because it wasn't a fully thought out character. A character needs to have a beginning and an end. When a new character is introduced for a wrestler, the old character must die. I hate to bring this example up, but it's a great one. JBL was Bradshaw. The character of Bradshaw died on that random episode of SmackDown where he betrayed Farouk, aka Ron Simmons. The next week, the new character of JBL is introduced. And in the promo, which is a great promo by the way, JBL takes considerable time to explain why there's a character change. This is called good character work. The Rock did none of these things. He came back as a face. He said his little shitty lines, which at this point aren't even over anymore. Then he went on NXT, and I don't even know why he went on NXT. Like he talked to his daughter. Daughter's like, go out there, feel the crowd. Well, he went out there, he felt the crowd, and he cut the same promo he's been cutting since 1998. Why did he need to feel the crowd? It's the same fucking promo. So, as far as I'm concerned, The Rock now sucks ass. He is no longer interesting, He's no longer compelling. And quite frankly, I could give a shit if The Rock wrestles at WrestleMania. If he does, I'm not even looking forward to it anymore. You know, same thing can be said about Roman Reigns. I don't give a shit. I really hope Roman Reigns does not win the Royal Rumble. Because quite frankly, Roman Reigns doesn't deserve to be in the WrestleMania main event. He doesn't deserve it. He's not good enough for WrestleMania anymore. He isn't, cucks. He's now a mid-carder. Like, Roman Reigns, his road to WrestleMania should basically be this. He has a throwaway, meaningless match on, like, Elimination Chamber, loses it, then it's him versus Drew McIntyre in, like, the third match of night one. That's where Roman Reigns belongs now, okay? Move over, cuck. You couldn't get it done. Despite having everything been handed to him, Roman Reigns can't get it done. He's not good enough. And he never was, if we're being honest. John Cena's back now, so all of these jobbers that I'm talking about, take a back seat. The real one is here. The Rock is now a cuckold. Cena was completely right about him the whole time. And the reality is that even though The Rock came back and, I guess you could say reinvented himself as cool many, many times, that shit's gone now. The Rock now is a complaining, whining bitch. He is essentially Cucky Rhodes. It's the same thing. Cucky Rocks and Cucky Rhodes. Like, the reality is this. The same way that Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and all these pussies, their entire character is, I deserve it. My story. The Rock is the same thing now. He's the same thing. He just comes out there, he bitches and moans, zero self-reflection, right? He's not an idiot, so he understands. But then he gets mad at the fans, at least in kayfabe. He's like, oh, these people keep complaining about me. Well, stop doing annoying shit. And then he does that annoying voice where he makes like, me, like, the Cody crybaby voice, where basically that's used to just gaslight the actual legitimate complaints. The legitimate complaints are that The Rock, for better or for worse, because some people like this, I guess, but in my opinion, for worse, The Rock has betrayed the fans. The Rock no longer is relevant enough, in my opinion, in terms of wrestling, to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Forget about Rock versus Roman Reigns. I don't give a shit if both of them have the titles. I don't care. I don't give a fuck who wears the Ulafala. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the Ulafala. What do you think of them apples? And that's kind of what pisses me off. First of all, The Rock comes out now, and he does this ridiculous Samoan screech. He's like, yahoo! Right? And it's like, shut the fuck up, man. Stop trying to make this cool. The Samoan culture is not cool. I'm sorry. I love the Samoans, but they're not cool. They're a bunch of weirdos who wear like face paint and get tattoos of palm trees like Jey Uso. I'm tired of this shit, man. I'm tired of it. Yahoo! What the fuck are you talking about? The Usos come out there doing the haka, which is fucking cringe. I'm sick of the haka. It's like Samoans are not like, they brand themselves as these like warrior people. As far as I know, the Samoans never conquered anybody. They're just like one island. They just pretty much fished until like people came and said, hey, enough of this shit, right? And then America took over Samoa in like a half hour. You know what I mean? Enough of this like, oh, shut the fuck up. Yeehaw! What the fuck are you talking about? Enough. Enough. The Ulafala, the tribal chiefdom, enough of this shit. We need like a real rest. At this point, I'll even take CM Punk as the Royal Rumble winner. We need someone to say, yo, enough of this weird shit. Oh, Paul Heyman is the wise man. It's a bunch of Samoans and a fat retard who's been cutting the same promo, coming out there and being like, this is important. No, it isn't. Fuck the Ulafala. Fuck Jacob Fatu. Fuck Solo Sikoa and anybody else that wants to be tribal chief. I'm tired of it. It's a played out story. The bloodline storyline is fucking stupid. It's a storyline for dumbasses. Oh, Sammy Uso. Why is he an honorary Uso? He just is. He just is because he's also retarded. Enough of this shit, man. The Rock has single-handedly ruined WrestleMania by giving it to The Rock. I mean, to Cucky Rhodes. Rhodey Chodes, motherfucks. It would have been cool to have the bloodline match when both of them felt like big deals. When Roman Reigns was the champion for like 3 years and The Rock is still The Rock. Then the two of them fight for the Ulafala. Not Roman Reigns has to get it back from Solo Sikoa. Have you people lost your minds? Meanwhile, The Rock comes back and goes, yeah! Shut the fuck up. I'm tired of this shit. This is not Samoan Island wrestling. This is WWE. This is a national, global brand at this point. We do not need The Rock to come out there and yell like a Samoan. You know? The Rock's like born and raised in America. Enough of this shit. Oh, the spirit of The Rock comes out, he's like, I'm the Uli Fuli, chief. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. He's like, I'm a high chief. Good for you, man. Good for you. It's like, you ever met Nigerians? The hater knows a lot of Nigerians. I love the Nigerians. Good people. But it's like every other Nigerian I meet is a prince. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm a Nigerian prince. Are you? You know what I'm saying? Because the other 19 Nigerians that I met last month are also princes. You know, it's like they get 6 people together. One of them declares themselves the prince. And then we have to keep going with this nonsense. Enough, man. Enough of the Samoans. Oh, I'm a high chief. I'm a medium chief. I'm the tribal chief. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a bunch of dorks from fucking Florida. Nobody recognizes this shit. Like when Roman Reigns was young, nobody in his family would walk around and in the town, people would be like, oh shit, there goes Sika, the chief. They'd be like, there goes Sika, the guy who acts like he's retarded on TV. That's what they would say. And then someone like Scott Steiner would walk around and he'd be like, he's fucking fat. You know what I'm saying? That's what would happen. So I'm tired of The Rock, and I'm tired of them injecting this Samoan nonsense into wrestling. You know, there's no problem with having a group of Samoans as a faction, but it's like everything now has to be centered around this. You know, The Rock comes out there just yelling like a retard. Enough of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I am tired of The Rock. The Rock needs to come back, needs to abandon this Hollywood bullshit if he wants to earn the respect of the fans. Now, the fans will always cheer for The Rock. Let's be real. The Rock is still him. The Rock is still one of the most charismatic people in the history of our species. He's so charismatic, in fact, that he can almost get the yeah over, right? But, I mean, that's just too tall of a task for anybody. But the reality is, I'm sick and tired of The Rock, and I think I speak for most people. I think most people have no room for The Rock to come out and do what he's been doing these last 2 weeks. Adding nothing to the show. Let's compare The Rock now to The Rock last year, where he, in my opinion, made WrestleMania. If it weren't for The Rock, last WrestleMania would be the worst WrestleMania of all time, right? But it was better marginally than the one before it. It's still one of the worst. But without The Rock, it would have been like a 0 out of 10. You know, The Rock made it like a respectable 3 out of 10. The Rock can still do that now, but he's not. Now he's a corporate sellout, which brings me to the second part of this rant, cucks, this mega rant, as it were. The Rock is a corporate cuck. Now he's basically in a position of power. All the adults have left. Vince McMahon, obviously, the guy that understands this thing better than anybody, is gone. And now The Rock and Triple H are out there playing ball with each other. And they're both jobbers now. I don't like either of them. Triple H is he's a suit. The Rock is also a suit now. The Undertaker is a cuck suit. Enough, man. Enough. Give me something to cheer for. The Rock is no longer that. Imagine this. The next time The Rock comes, he should get a Hulk Hogan reception. Because he's not going to do anything. He's going to be just like Hulk Hogan. He's going to come there, try to sell you something, and then leave. What is the purpose of this? Now, The Rock was presented as a storyline figure for a year and a half now. Several months ago, I don't remember when, but maybe it was at SummerSlam, I don't remember. At some point, The Rock came back, and he had a stare down with somebody. I don't even remember. And it's okay, cool. Awesome. When's he going to actually come back and start his road to WrestleMania? Well, it looks like The Rock doesn't give a fuck about WrestleMania. And quite honestly, in some ways, I don't blame him. You know what I mean? The retard fans, the Cody crybabies, took it away from him. You know? Maybe he's just jaded. You know? Maybe he's just fuck this. I'm going to come back, just throw a monkey wrench into this entire storyline and just be a good guy because I don't give a fuck. That would be quite the troll. But it doesn't matter. The end result is the same. And the end result is, we don't like The Rock, cucks. The hater doesn't like The Rock. The lover doesn't like The Rock. Nobody likes The Rock. This is the worst The Rock has ever been. And if you're not down with that, the haters got 2 words for you, cuckolds. And, you know, there is obviously a possibility, like, that The Rock does something, you know. Maybe the noise that the fans are making because a lot of people are booing him like he acknowledged on NXT. Who the fuck knows? Maybe he'll do something, but I'm not holding my breath, cucks. I don't see anything good coming out of this. And quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, even though we haven't had the Royal Rumble yet, which, you know, I am looking forward to, as far as I'm concerned, WrestleMania has already been, like, ruined. You know what I mean? We were expecting The Rock, and now we're going to end up with, like, CM Punk. Hopefully, John Cena can save this WrestleMania by winning the Rumble, you know? I don't even care if he wins the Rumble. CM Punk can win the Rumble for all I give a shit. As long as John Cena wins, like, the Elimination Chamber or something and finds his way into a title match at Mania. That's all that matters to me at this point. And that should be the main event because, quite frankly, CM Punk winning the WWE title is just not compelling enough, you know? It's just the same thing that we saw many years ago. And I don't like the fact that they reward these jobbers for leaving the company and coming back up in this mug. Enough is enough, cucks. Yeehaw!